Normally I'd start off this video by recapping our previous adventures in Koholin Island during our last episode together, but we're not going to do that this time, because we are not continuing with Link's Awakening's main story this time around. Instead, we're going to be tackling the Color Dungeon, a completely optional, hidden dungeon that was first added to Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy Color. But wait a minute, Link's Awakening DX? Color Dungeon? Color graphics? What does this all mean? Well, since you so nicely asked, allow me to try and explain. But first, we need to go back to 1991, when The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past released to critical and, most importantly, commercial success, because that means more money! Led by programmer Kuzaki Morita, he and other members of the development team would gather after hours to experiment with development kits from Nintendo's newly fangled handheld system known as the Game Boy, which was just released 2 years prior. And though it sold like absolute hotcakes essentially from the start, the Game Boy is quite the complicated little piece of hardware when you look back at it.
They said it wasn't humanly possible. All the power and excitement of Nintendo right in the palm of your hand. Introducing Game Boy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable. Game Boy comes complete with batteries and the outrageous new game Tetris. And for head-to-head competition, use Video Link and blow your opponent away. Game Boy, only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, portable power.
While this commercial was totally
Outrageous.
the Game Boy wasn't all perfect. For example, the bulky design of the system itself, the lack of a backlight, so essentially playing games in the dark or not in perfect lighting conditions is pretty much impossible, and the most infamous of all, the complete lack of color. Every game is in complete monochrome. Surely such heavy negatives would lead to this system being trounced by its competitors. Sega and Atari had their own handhelds, complete with color and a couple of Sonic games, I guess. It also apparently had a pretty good portable version of Lemmings and a TV tuner that allowed you to watch analog TV. I mean, that's not even close to being the weirdest Game Boy accessory though. I mean, shit. The Petty Sedate? An accessory for the Game Boy that was given to hospitals that allowed children to play video games as they were sedated? I want to be sedated by a Game Boy. But the Atari Lynx and Sega Game Gear were absolutely destroyed by the technologically inferior Game Boy, for a multitude of reasons, but starting off, the price point. The Atari Lynx, which released the very same year in 1989, debuted at a price point of $179.99. Translated to 2026 dollars, that is a whopping $474.34. The Sega Game Gear, released 2 years later than both systems, debuted at a price point of $150, which translated into 2026 dollars would be $359.90, which doesn't seem too bad, but one fatal flaw these two systems have was the battery life. These two systems took 6 AA batteries to operate, with a battery lifespan averaging 3 to 5 hours? Even if the Game Gear is cheaper than the Lynx, you're gonna blow your difference eventually just keeping this thing supplied with a daily supply of batteries. That's when we get to the Game Boy, released in 1989 at a price point of $89.99. In modern dollars, that would be $237.16. Already quite a bit cheaper than the other two options. Where the Game Boy really shined was its battery life. While it did need 4 AA batteries to operate, it was able to provide you with 30 hours of gameplay before needing another charge. So while the Game Boy did struggle technologically in its era, the Atari Lynx and the Sega Game Gear, while being technological marvels for their time, just weren't ready to deal with the consequences of that. So from a price point and a convenience standpoint, they lost out to Nintendo's shitty little brick. But it wasn't just the price, nor the battery that led to the Game Boy's domination. There was also the games.
Do it.
For the first time, it was possible to enjoy games on the same scale as their console counterparts on the go. And this small little beast had quite the strong library when it was all said and done. There was the Super Mario Land duology with some of the strangest aspects I've ever seen in a Mario game, along with some of the absolute catchiest tunes. Metroid made its jump to the portable system with Metroid 2: The Return of Samus, one of the most important games, lore-wise at least, in the Metroid series. There was also the Donkey Kong Land trilogy, which are often mistaken as ports of the SNES originals, but these three games have fully original levels and, in some cases, even fully original storylines. And yes, the Game Boy was when Pokemon took over the world, with the Generation 1 bundle of games selling nearly a combined 46 million units. That sounds all well and good, but as we all know, no Nintendo system would have been complete without its own flagship Zelda. So let's circle back to where we first began. By this point, A Link to the Past has been released to the public, and experiments with this new Game Boy development kit have started to gain some real results. So A Link to the Past director Takashi Tezuka gathered the Zelda team up and pitched to Nintendo higher-ups a port of A Link to the Past for the Game Boy. But as development began, Tezuka and the team began to realize that they were feeling creatively unsatisfied with such a project, so it began to evolve into an original game. A Link to the Past scriptwriter Katsuki Tanabe and Yoshiaki Koizumi were given a strict set of guidelines to exclude common Zelda set pieces like the Triforce, Ganon, the Kingdom of Hyrule, and even Princess Zelda herself. With this new direction in hand and the team assembled, development would begin. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening was released June 6th of 1993, coming to America a few months later. Early concerns of the Game Boy not being able to handle a fully fledged Zelda adventure were proven to be false, as Link's Awakening was every bit the game of its predecessors on consoles, and in some cases even surpassing them. But it wasn't all perfect. There was one criticism that Link's Awakening just could not seem to shake: the lack of color. Throughout the 90s, the Game Boy continued to sell strong, which led Nintendo to grow wary about discontinuing such strong-selling hardware. There were revisions like the Game Boy Pocket, a slimmed-down Game Boy that only required 2 AA batteries and got rid of the original's bulk, and the Game Boy Light, which was released only in Japan, which gave the screen finally a backlight. And while these revisions were nice in their own way, they didn't solve the Game Boy's #1 problem: the monochromatic screens. And by 1998, developers were starting to lose interest in creating new games for the aging hardware. And with a new handheld competitor hitting the market in 1997, Bandai's The Wonder Swan, Nintendo decided to finally push forward with the Game Boy Color.
Hey kid, where's my lunch money?
Haven't been flossing. You haven't been flossing.
Get a job.
Escape to a world of color for each and every Game Boy game. New Game Boy Color.
The Game Boy Color released October 21st of 1998 at a price point of $80, essentially the same as its predecessor. Along with obviously the color display, the Game Boy Color received an internal upgrade as well, with a CPU running at up to twice the speed with 4 times the memory. The Game Boy Color was also backwards compatible with every game developed for the original Game Boy. And speaking of original Game Boy games, the idea of simple colorized re-releases of those games were a no-brainer, but Nintendo actually prohibited such releases, requiring developers to add meaningful gameplay additions to the old games. Among those vying for this treatment was Link's Awakening, a chance to finally realize the island of Koholint in color. With the Zelda team hard at work at putting the finishing touches on The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the director's role was instead handed to Yoshiniro Tushiyama, who along with a small team began work on Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy Color. Though Link's Awakening DX would probably be more considered a remaster than a full-blown remake, there was still quite a lot of content that was added to this game. For example, the camera shop, a whole new side quest, and a whole new collectible. Certain events will trigger this photographer to take your picture. There are a total of 12 photographs, and funny enough, each one of them can be printed using the Game Boy printer accessory. The devs also took a bunch of time to fix some glitches and bugs. Thank God! What the fuck? And interestingly enough, the owl statues and the stone beaks that I've been finding in these dungeons throughout my playthrough were originally stone tablets and stone tablet fragments in the original Link's Awakening. Alright, I think that does it. We're all caught up now. On a personal note, I just really want to thank you for watching this if you've made it this far in the video. I've always really admired the game review slash video essay slash documentary aspect of YouTube, but now that I know how they're made, I am never making one of these again. The fact that I was able to get 12 and a half minutes out of this shit is mind-boggling. How do people make like hour-long versions of these? The only thing really left to talk about is the color dungeon. But instead of just talking about it, why don't we show it? So without further ado, the color dungeon. Alright, but the first thing we want to do is head back to the Mabe Village Library. Okay, past these kids, and inside the library is a book on top of the bookcases that we saw on our very first day here. Sadly, Link has just not grown a single fucking inch since, you know, throughout all our adventures in Hyrule and now Koholint Island. He still can't reach on top of a one fucking bookcase. So we gotta pull off a maneuver that we mastered our last time around and knock it off. No, we gotta do damage to the bookcases. Okay, do you want to read this book? Yes. New World of Color under the 5 gravestones. 3, 4, 5, 2, and 1. Alright everyone, I need you to write this down for me so I can remember. And if you try anything funny, I'm not gonna be very happy. Try with all your might, open a new path. Whoever is worthy receives the power of color. I wonder what the world of color is. It's a really overrated fucking show at Disneyland, California Adventure, where fucking every mouth breather in the world goes to sit by the pier, and it's fucking so cramped and tight, and there's no place to sit, so you have to fucking stand and watch a shit light show. I mean, seriously, that thing is overrated. I don't care what anyone says. Alright, but let's head back up to the graveyard. Okay, it must be those graves that I was pushing earlier and nothing happened, so... And here they are, we gotta do them in a certain order. Okay, so I need you all to bring me the right order. What? I hear a voice back there. Yes? Okay, so you're saying 1 down, 2 left, 5 up, 4 right, and 3 up. Well, you do sound a little under the influence, but you know what? I'm working with it. Okay, so 1 down, 2 left, 5 up, 5 up. Wait a minute. I can't push 5 up. Someone must have pranked me. I got pranked. Maybe I'm just schizophrenic and no one's actually been giving me any fucking answers. 3 up, 4 right. I love how this was 4, this wasn't even 5. I'm a fucking moron. 5 up, 2 left, and then 1 down. Excuse me? Mrs. Claus, I smell some bullshit around. Okay, everyone, the funny jokes that you all love so much are over now because that's not good. What the fuck does that even mean? Unless that's not 1, 2, 3, instead maybe the bottom ones are 1 and 2? What the fuck? That still marks 3 as up. 4 would be right. 5 up. 2 would be left, and then 1 would be down. That's it! Oh, that's fucking stupid. I assumed they were 1, 2, 3. No, instead they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well, anyways, we've opened the path, so let us continue forth and not realize we've gotten off to such a shit start. This is the Color Dungeon. Our colors are never the same. If I am red, he is blue. If he is red, I am blue. What color is my cock? Not what color is my cock. What color is my cloth? You are blue. Don't tell anyone. Do you have the powder? If not, you must go back. I do have the powder. Our colors are never the same. If I am red, he is blue. If he is red, I am... You're red. Don't tell anyone. The Fairy Queen is waiting for you. Thank you, sires. I did make sure to re-up on powder before coming here. Well, now you guys are making it weird. You don't want to talk anymore. I should really get on going. Yeah, okay. So this is the Color Dungeon. They really wanted to show off the new colors of the game, so this dungeon is just full of little color puzzles like this. And color tiles and color enemies and shit. It's kind of crazy to think that this game originally released in black and white. It's just such a lively world outside to think that it was so devoid of color. Not to mention the beautiful rendition of the Zelda 1 dungeon theme going on in the back, which is much better than the NES original, I'll tell you that much. God, that song drove me insane in the later dungeons. Okay, we got the owl statue right there. Oh, okay. So we gotta probably match all the colors. I'll get this eventually. I love this second addition to the song. Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay. In it, we get the compass. Get the compass, but not the map. Did I miss something? I don't think so. Okay. Oh. Okay, so the tiles go from green to yellow, so red probably leads you to... Yeah, okay, so the red tiles lead you to the floor breaking entirely. So let us go in here, and instead... be faced with these enemies. No, I did not want the green one to be put in the red one. Even I'm not that stupid. Okay. Fuck. That's like me trying to play basketball. Okay. In here, we get the stone beak. There's an owl statue back there. I guess I'll check that out later. Do I want to do it now? No, I'm lazy. I don't want to go back. Down here is another one of these rooms. One thing I do remember about the Color Dungeon from playing this game back on the Switch, I remember this dungeon being a drastic step down in difficulty compared to the other ones. So I'm not expecting a great challenge in this at all. Because technically I think this dungeon can be played after the Bottle Grotto, unless there's some use for the Pegasus boots, but so far no. In here we get a key. Go back here. Okay. Put the beak in here. Here's your clue. Make all red blue. No fucking shit. Was there a room over here? Yeah, there is. Okay, so we're gonna go in here before using that key. Oh, look! That's actually really cool. They set off the tiles as well. I mean, that's kind of crazy for a Game Boy Color game. Originally a Game Boy game. The enemies make the environments react. That's actually really cool. Okay. Here's your clue. Make all red blue. Okay. Gotta do this puzzle again. They were really proud with this one. And that wasn't very hard. This dungeon was just so proud to show off the new colors of the game. It's actually really cool that they made color, just the ability to see color, a central mechanic in this dungeon. Boo! I am no weakling. Your pitiful sword is no match for me. Wanna bet? This is a Buzz Blob. A mini-boss Buzz Blob. My worst fucking nightmare has come to life. I can't believe this. Ow, ow. Ow! Stop that shit. Oh, he doesn't like the powder. He doesn't like the powder. Okay, that wasn't very hard. A Buzz Blob turned into a mini-boss. Truly the most evil thing on this island. Ganon himself would fucking shudder and tear at that. Oh my god. Push this. I don't think we get a dungeon item from this, so I'm wondering what this could be. No, instead it's the Nightmare's Key we've gotten already. We're making quick work of this dungeon. Yeah, this isn't a very long or even really fruitful dungeon from what I'm remembering. So, I'd kind of complain, like, from the simple fact is there's not much to do in here. That's also not really fair, because this is a bonus addition to an already released game. It was out for like 7 years already by the time this re-release came out. And it's not like they probably were given much time to actually develop a whole new dungeon for the game, so I'm willing to cut some slack there. The fact that the game has color in it of itself is more than worth the purchase of the new version. What a greedy fool. You want more power? A buffoon like you might as well give up and go home. And yet we still have another mini-boss, so I said all of that, but they put in 2 mini-bosses in this dungeon to make up for it. Aha! So I need the Pegasus boots to kill this thing, so probably after Heat Cavern for this thing. Okay, that wasn't very hard either. Goodness, game. It could have been a little bit more. It's under here. That. Alright, piece of power and a chest. In it we get the dungeon map, which I'm sure there's many more rooms to this dungeon. Not really. Put the green in there, the green in here, the blue back in the green. Red, oh my god. You know, it's a tragedy when we're told we can no longer play the children's game. Some of us are told at 18, some of us are told at 40, but we're all told. Oh my god, fuck off. There we go, thank you. Got the small key. Thank you. Now we can fucking go home. So what happens if you destroy all those things, and are you just screwed? I kind of want to figure out. So what happens if, you know, I just need to get back over there? Oh, that's such a boring fucking solution right there. Oh, fuck me. This is actually going to be kind of annoying, isn't it? Make all red blue. Yeah, you guys have had the same fucking hint already. Has there been a writer's strike or something? Shit like this just makes my brain hurt. I'll get it eventually. We might be all fucking gray and old by the time, but you know, I'll get it eventually. I apologize to all the functioning brains in the comments that are just like fucking fuming over this. You're not looking at one of your brethren. There we go, finally got that done. Alright, let's unlock this door, and then over there is the Nightmare's door. Okay, let's see what we got when it comes to the Color Dungeons boss. Blue is safe, yellow is caution, red is danger. Oh. Oh shit. Okay, so this is blue start over, yellow is caution, red is danger. So I just gotta hit it a bunch of times? It's like a big ass like beetle from Mario. to go along with the big-ass buzz blob from the mini-boss. Oh my god. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it! What the fuck? Why does this thing have lock-on technology towards me? Okay. I got him. Yellow is caution, red is danger, take your time. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, this thing is fucking annoying with... Dude, it just hits me every single time without fail. Like, holy shit, we're back all the way to green now. Oh god, you're getting concentrating, Tyler, I'm sorry. Oh, Todd, I had to use the thing, okay. Oh my god, that boss was so goddamn annoying, but it was actually kind of fun. Magic power that came out of its fucking ass crack just kept fucking me up. I could not avoid it to save my fucking life. Okay, well, we've beaten the nightmare of the color dungeon. We will not be receiving an instrument this time. Instead, there is a magic fairy waiting for us at the end. Welcome, Tyler. I admire you for coming this far. I will give you the power of color. If you want offense, choose red. If you want defense, choose blue. Which power do you want? As the fairy said, the red will double your attack power, making it more effective, you know, if you really want to play aggressively and go on offense. If you want to play a little bit more conservatively and don't necessarily want to put yourself in harm's way all the time, both options are very, very useful. The nice thing about this also, you can come back and change your mind later on if you so choose. So right now we have 4 instruments left. I figure for the next 2 we will show off the red tunic, and for the last 2, once we hopefully have the level 2 sword, we will show off the blue tunic, because while there is a way to upgrade your offense in this game by use of the ultimate sword that we were promised at the Seashell Mansion, there is no other way to upgrade your defense. So for now, we're going to choose the red tunic. Are you sure? I am very sure. Relax and close your eyes. You got the red clothes. Your body is full of energy. I will now take you out. And as you can see, with the red tunic on, we now have what amounts to essentially a permanent piece of power in our sword. So now, enemies, you do more damage and you also knock them back. Alright, that was the color dungeon. Next time we're going to continue our quest to wake the windfish and gather the instruments. I hope to see you then.